Something happened. That was throughout all the church period. And then you had, even up to now, they represented a certain particular time period as it goes out here. Like Ephesus, it goes from AD 30 to 100. Smyrna, 100 to 313, all the way down to Laodicea, 1900 until the end. You catch that? So Smyrna, 100 to 313, Pergamos, I didn't read the one. Ephesus is the apostolic church, 30 to 100. Smyrna is the persecuted church, 100 to 313. Pergamos is the state church from 313 to 590. Thyatira was the papal church from 590 to 1517. Sardis was the Reformed church from AD 1517 to 1730. Philadelphia was the missionary church from 730 to 1900. Laodicea is the apostate church from 1900 until Christ comes back. And it says, although this time honored belief that Christ's message to the seven churches takes a prophetic look at the seven stages of the church history, has never been held unanimously. It is held most premillennialists. Even Philip Schaff, the writer of the classic 8-volume set, History of the Christian Church, accepts that position. The first three churches have passed off pages of history, but not the last four living concurrently. For we have these four kinds of churches in our world today. The message to all is the same: be thou faithful unto death. And when we look at the map on the other side, it's color-coded here, it actually has some pretty good information in it, because it's talking about what's going to happen in Revelation. So at the very left, the leftmost part, you have the book of Revelation, and then you have the salutation, right? And that was what he said in chapter 1, what thou hast seen, and the vision and all that, right? Then it says, these things which are the seven churches. That's in 2:1 to 322. Y'all with me where I am? Okay. And then it names those seven churches. And then at the end of the church period, the church age, you have the rapture, and that's in the red arrow. And it says 1 Thessalonians 4:16 to 17, the heavenly vision. And then it talks about the seven seals. Remember the first seals, it has one is the white horse, the conquering power, because this is now, what period are we talking about? That's the tribulation period, right? Then you had the second seal was the red horse, and that had what? War. Because the white horse was what? Temporary. Conquering power. Temporary peace, right? Okay. And then you had the black horse was famine, pale horse was pestilence and death, and it goes on. 6 is the souls, or 5 is the souls, the martyrs, and then you had your earthquakes, and then the silence. And then you had the 7 trumpets, and then after that, the 7 key figures, then your bowls, the dooms of Babylon, and then the return of Christ as you continue from left to right. Y'all with me so far? Yeah. And that was what we all went through in the book of Revelation. We all went through that, chapter by chapter, verse by verse. Under the bottom, you have what? The crucifixion of Christ. Then you have the church age, right? Soul harvest. The first half of the tribulation period is tribulation. The second half is the great tribulation, right? Yeah. The dragon, see where it says the dragon is cast out of heaven? And he goes down and persecutes the woman. Who was the woman? Israel. Okay. And then you have, it goes into, after that, it goes into the millennial kingdom. So you have, that part here. But you have the harvest of the earth, tribulation, saints resurrected, and all those. Okay? And then the millennial kingdom is on the page 45. 1,000 years, and after that, then it has the 7 new things, which is the new heaven, the new earth, the new Jerusalem, the new universal order, the new temple, the new light, and the new paradise. That's the new the suspended Jerusalem we were talking about, right? So the yellow is, see how the yellow in the millennial kingdom is yellow like the return of Christ? Satan's bound. That's because during that year, that's where you get the earthly blessings. How it was intended, how God intended to rule and things to be done from the beginning. You catch that? The earthly blessings. No? Yes? You don't know? All right.
That's going to be interesting.
It's a good time.
You think we will be in these kind of bodies during the millennium?
It's gonna be a
We-
new body.
Or transfer?
We will be,
I'm only asking questions, Marcy.
We get raptured and changed way back.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we-
Yeah.
Huh?
We get raptured and changed way back, like when it first starts before the 7 seals. So by the time the millennial comes, we're in our new raptured bodies, and then who knows what happens.
Yeah.
After that, if we get new bodies.
yeah.
We won't need no food and stuff, huh?
You said you wanted that new wine, didn't you?
That's what they talked about, is that new wine, that's what they're gonna be drinking.
So then at the bottom here, we have the things that will be. Immediately after the 7th church is described, just before God's judgments are poured out, we see John, a member of the church, taken up into heaven. That's Revelation 4, 1 and 2. While we could not build the truth of the what's wrong with me today? While we could not build the truth of the pre-tribulational rapture on this single passage, it certainly fits with the many other passages that described in 1 Corinthians 15, 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, and chapter 17 on the rapture. The events of the last days will include the destruction of Babylon, which represents the governmentally, the religiously, and the commercially, right? That's where a lot of the sinning takes place, right? This will be followed by the glorious appearing of Jesus Christ, who will throw the Antichrist and the false prophet into the lake of fire. Christ will then set up the millennial kingdom, and Satan will be bound 1,000 years. At the end of that time, he will be released to tempt the nations once again before being cast into the lake of fire forever. Then comes the great white throne judgment, after which all unbelievers will be cast where? Into the lake of fire. Revelation closes with a vision of what heaven will be like. It is like the most incredible picture of eternity ever presented, and it is all available to those who receive Jesus. More details about this will be given in a future chapter, but for now, we all call the attention to the fact that Jesus will come quickly, meaning that his coming will be suddenly, and he will reward every man according to his work, Revelation 22:12. Don't miss his coming or the reward of a lifetime of faithful service, for those rewards will last forever and ever.
You know, the reason why I asked that question is simple as this. Those people that wanna get saved during the tribulation period,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see where they get a transformed body. That's the only reason why I asked. Because there's thousands of people that are gonna be saved during the tribulation period.
Yes. It happens.
I
It
don't find the
happens.
scripture in the Bible where they get translated.
It happens at the end.
I believe that, but I'm just curious, that's all.
At the end of the millennial, it happens.
At the end of the millennium.
The end of the
So
millennium.
those that are in, they have a natural body that during the millennium.
Yes.
That is what I was asking.
Because they're still having children.
This is true, that's why I was asking that.